There was this kind of going back and forth, and there were a couple different practitioners, and they were arguing about, well, what is advanced Jiu Jitsu? And at the end of the day, it kind of comes back down to what I've told you guys all along. Aside from the fact that it is sequenced moves, stitched together, so you have layered offensive and defensive attacks. Put that aside, that is advanced Jiu Jitsu, no doubt. As you know, we've been working on core skills done in an advanced way. Core skills performed in an advanced way. And I was just reading an article where there was this kind of going back and forth, and there were a couple different practitioners, and they were arguing about, well, what is advanced Jiu Jitsu? And at the end of the day, it kind of comes back down to what I've told you guys all along. Aside from the fact that it is sequenced moves, stitched together, so you have layered offensive and defensive attacks. Put that aside, that is advanced Jiu Jitsu, no doubt. When you can start thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves, and better yet, not think about the moves, but you have built up muscle memory or instant recall to where you can flow from each of those moves without having to spend time going, so here I am, where do I go from here? The more fluid your jiu-jitsu will be, and the more advanced your jiu-jitsu will feel, because you'll have a few moves ready in advance. We spend a lot of our time waiting for that moment to come, where we don't have to get stuck and say to myself, okay, I'm kind of fearful I'm about to get tapped out, so where do I go from here now? How do I block this? How do I defend it? How do I move from here to the next defensive or offensive move? Okay. Put that in its own category. That is definitely one side of the coin of advanced Jiu Jitsu, no doubt. The other side of that coin, though, and there's plenty of examples to prove this, is the situations like where you see Roger Gracie, who takes the fight to the ground, gets past the dangerous legs, gets to a position of advantage, slowly and technically, and then uses leverage, balance, timing, and technique, and finishes all the way up to the world's competition. High-level black belts with basic moves, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And everybody's in awe. Because they're like, it wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't anything frilly. It wasn't anything acrobatic. It wasn't anything clever. It was beautiful because it was fundamental jiu-jitsu performed artistically and technically, calling on the principles of what Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is. And that's good technique, performed at the right time, using leverage and balance. Does that make sense?
Of course.
The layers will come as you do two things. One, just keep collecting tools, skill sets. I think I alluded in my last video that that's like learning anatomy and physiology. You just got to memorize it. There's nothing more than that. If you're going to learn a new language, you have to memorize the root words, the prefixes and the suffixes, right? That's the basics of it. And then beyond that, you have to learn when to fundamentally apply them and when not to apply them, because the right move at the wrong time is still the wrong move. And with that, then comes the flow.